Good morning, Cherubland. How are y'all doing? Fantastic, I hope. It's my magnifying glass. It helps me to be able to look deeper into stuff. You ought to get one too. When you search for something, you want your best possible chance to be able to find it, don't you? Have you ever searched for anything? Have you ever been in need of something? Really needed to find it? Well, this month we've been talking about what? Can you remember? Yeah, wisdom. Finding out what to do. And what else? Huh? Doing it. Not only finding out what to do, but also doing what you find out was the right thing to do. Well, where did wisdom come from? Yeah. We're really not born with the wisdom that we need. We have to what? Ask God. What's the memory verse? Right finger there. Echo buttons on. If any of you need wisdom, you should ask God for it. He will give it to you. God gives freely to everyone and doesn't find fault. James chapter 1, verse 5. Echo buttons off. Yes, we should ask God. Asking our friends for wisdom. Oh, yeah, you can kind of ask them what you should do, but guess what? If they're wrong, whose fault is it going to be? Yeah, you could ask the person next to you. It's kind of like this. Let's say it's an open book test. And you're writing the answers down. You're on question 19. You got one more left. And you ask your friend, well, where's the answer to so-and-so? They tell you it's this page. You just go to that page and he said, no, this is it. She says, no, it's on this page and this is the answer. You just write down the answer. Never looking at the book to really get the real true answer. Whose fault is it? When you get back your test and you got a 95 instead of 100. You look at them, you say, you gave me the wrong answer. Yeah, they got the wrong answer too. But when we ask God, God doesn't give us the wrong answer. He gives us the right answer. Not only for this test, and for all of life. We find that oftentimes that we don't really know the answers to just everyday stuff. We're questioning about whether we should do this or do that, act this way, do this, be friends with this one, not be friends with that one. Should we tell a person this? Should we not tell a person that? Should we eat this cookie? Should we wait till after our dinner? All those things. Wisdom helps us to be able to what? Make the wise choice. You didn't know that? We can use wisdom in everything that we do. Wisdom is not like your book bag at school, that once you get out of school, once you do your homework, you put your book bag down until it's time to go to school the next day. No. Are y'all ready for this? God wants us to really ask Him for wisdom. You know why? God wants us to really understand that His wisdom is the only way. He wants us to abandon, to leave behind, to cast away any other ideas, ways that are opposite of wisdom. Oftentimes we find ourselves like, why isn't He giving me wisdom? I don't know. That's okay. That's exactly what should happen. One of my, I hate to say favorite, but what's a verse I really like. It says, if you cry loud for understanding, He wants us to be able to cry out to Him so that we're willing to be able to show, I have no other help but God. I want no other help but God. Let's look at it this way. Let's say you're about to go to cheerleading practice, football practice, baseball practice, dance practice. And there's an item of clothing that you're looking for. Shoes. Let's just say shoes. Whether it be cleats or dance shoes. Let's say you can't find them. What do? You go back to where where you first left them. And when you go there and you can't find them, then what do? You retrace your steps. The next thing you do is what? Look in the place where you thought you had them. Let's say in your closet. Guess what you do? You cut the light on, don't you? If you have other shoes around, you start picking all the other shoes out and throwing them out of the closet to make sure it's not hid anywhere. You're really looking for these shoes. They're important. What about under the bed now? You couldn't find them there. You can't find them under the bed. What's the next thing you do? Yeah, you go ask your parents, have you seen my shoes? Then if it's somebody else there, brothers or sisters, you ask them, and then when you get through asking them, you blame them. You must have moved my shoes. You had to. Now you're in a panic. Because it's time to leave. It's time to go to practice. And you need your shoes. After you looked through the closet, looked in all the places, asked your parents, asked then scolded your brother or sister, you go back again and retrace your steps. You still can't find them. What do? Yeah, everybody knows. You start to cry. I can't find them. What am I gonna do? If I can't find them, I can't go to practice. You're crying aloud now. You've now admitted you can't do anything that you want to do at this practice without these shoes. You searched and all this kind of stuff like that, but now you're willing to cry out loud because you know it's hopeless if I don't find these shoes. I've done all I can do. I've asked all I can ask. I've looked all the places and I can't find these shoes. So you've lifted up your voice and cried. Well, in doing so, it shows your willingness to give up. It shows that you're saying, I need help. Now, you didn't do this at the start. You searched first, and you asked, and you looked around, you retraced your steps. You've done all you can do. God wants us to be able to treat wisdom just like the shoes. We've got to search everywhere we can to find wisdom. We've got to ask adults that know where wisdom would be. We got to ask sisters and brothers where wisdom is. We got to retrace our steps to go back to what we knew the right things to do. We got to retrace our steps and go back to those Bible verses that taught us about wisdom. And when we've done all that, we cry out to God and pray. Show me what wisdom. Show me how to make the right choice. And then we get to trust that God will give us wisdom. So I've got a great story for you all about a man that was given wisdom. And a lot of it he was given because it was something that was very important to him. Let's see if it should be important to you. You all got time? Let's look pretty deep. Are you all ready to find? Well, a long time ago, King David got old. And King David's promised son that would be his heir and build a temple for God was Solomon. When David was about to die, he told Solomon how important it was to follow the instructions in the ways of God. He told him how important it was not to deviate from it. He told him how important it was to be strong and real courageous. Not to allow anybody else around to pull him away from what God told him to do. Solomon listened to his dad and saw all the great things that his dad did in this great kingdom. He felt a little bit overwhelmed. He was a young kid now when he took on to be a king, when his dad passed away. Left with this big, huge kingdom. No dad to really ask. What should I do to be a king? That. What do you think he did? Well, one night, Solomon had a dream. And in Solomon's dream, God asked him, if I can give you anything, what would you ask me for? Now, back then, there was no PS5s, there was no Jordans, there was no all those Lego sets and any of that stuff. Matter of fact, he was king. He had a great responsibility. Kind of like we are today. We've got a great responsibility. Our own temple. We've got to be able to take care of it. Even at a young age. We've got to be able to know what to put in it and what not to. What to watch, what not to. What to look at, what to not to. What to touch, what not to. Where to go, where not to. Wisdom. So Solomon, in the dream, he replies to God, you've given me this great, a massive kingdom. I would want to have wisdom that I can best govern your people in all that you've given me. That was huge. How big was it? Yeah, it was huge. So huge that in the dream, God said, because you have not asked for riches, nor the death of your enemies, nor even long life, I take great pleasure in you asking for wisdom. And I'm going to grant it. Even to this day, Solomon is still known as the wisest man to ever live. So, guess what? Solomon wakes up from the dream. And at that point in time, it's like, I don't look any different, but I've got to trust that God has given me wisdom. So guess what? He goes back home to Jerusalem from Gibeon. And when he gets back, there's a problem. There's two women, and both women have just had infant children. They're newborns. However, sadly, one of the women's children have died. I know she was hurting, felt terrible. But the other baby was left. One woman says, it's my baby. The other lady says, no, it's my baby. She rolled over and laid on her baby. Well, the children are young. There's no way to really tell who's whose. This live baby, still there. God's wisdom allowed Solomon to be able to make a wise choice. Solomon says, okay, I tell you what, give me the baby and bring me a sword. I'm going to cut the baby in half, and I'm going to give you one half and give you the other half. I bet y'all say, what kind of wisdom is that? Solomon's wisdom was from God. God knew the heart of a woman that gave birth to a child. He knew a woman would do anything to be able to make sure that her child lived. Anything. Even giving her child up to a lady that she really didn't know. She knew the child would be better off with the lady than cut in half. So that lady that gave birth to that child, she speaks up. And she says, no, don't. Let her have it. While the other lady was quiet. Solomon, in his wisdom, says, give her the child. It's her child. That story went miles and miles and miles away. He became extremely famous for his wisdom. So much so, there were people that came from other kingdoms just to be able to sit and listen to him. It's God's wisdom. Solomon was able to trust that God will give him wisdom. I understand. Solomon was king. But we're royal priesthood. We could ask for wisdom from God as well. And we could make the wise choice over and over again. We could even pray and ask God for wisdom. Not an extra toy, not an extra this, not an extra that. We could ask for wisdom. And trust that He will give it to us. And when the opportunity comes, we make the wise choice. And guess what? Most importantly, we be oh so careful to give Him all the honor and glory for that great decision that we made, because we couldn't have done it without His wisdom. So think about it. Search through the toy box. Search through your closet. Look up under your bed. Look deep as far as you can for wisdom. And cry loud for it. Search for us for hidden treasure. It's worth it.